Alright, the next thing I want to do is actually make it look like I'm kind of moving. So I'm going to add a little blur behind myself. This is very similar to what I did for my super speed project. But the first thing I want to do is actually blend myself back together. So now that I've got my head and my arm lined up better, I want to connect them back with my body so they're not two separate layers. And to do that, I can just hold down Shift to click on both layers that I want to add together. And if I go over to Layer, I can do what's called Merge Layers. And that's going to combine them back together into just one layer. You want to make sure you don't select the background when you do that, otherwise they'll all be together and you won't be able to move or edit anything anymore. So now on layer 2, I can add a little bit of a blur by duplicating this layer. If I just right click on it and go to duplicate layer and hit OK. Now I got another copy of myself, and on this second copy I can go up to filter, and there's a cool blur tool called motion blur. And then you want to kind of adjust the angle for what direction you're flying. So in this case I'm kind of flying a little bit up and forward. I want to kind of angle this a little bit more up. You can adjust the direction. You can adjust the distance, and that just affects how much of a blur it puts on. If you go down low, it just gets a little fuzzy. But if you pull it way over to the right, it really stretches you out and makes you look like you're actually kind of moving quickly. And I can hit OK. And then I just need to kind of move that blur down a little bit so it's more behind me. Now that blur right now is actually above my layer. It's not blurred, and so it's kind of blocking it out. So I want to switch these and drag my clear layer on top of the blurred layer so that now most of me is clear. You can kind of see some of this blur coming off behind me. Maybe even redo that and actually have it going backwards a little bit so you can see some of it. Right now it's just kind of coming off my head and then way down here at my feet. But if I had it going back a little bit more, it would actually show up a little bit better. I'm going to do that. And this time I'm actually just going to do the blur on layer 2 so it's already underneath the main layer. And again, go to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur. And this time I do want to try to actually make it a little bit flatter so it's kind of coming out behind. Okay. And then I can use the Move tool and move it a little bit more behind me. I like that a little bit more. You can just see a little bit more of it coming off my head and off my back and my hand and my feet. And now it kind of looks like I'm flying through the sky over the city.